Ho! We're live now. Awesome. So, for those of you guys watching, this is going to be a live stream. First, I'm going to start it off as a tutorial showing you how to get a US phone number where you can receive text messages from overseas. This is very useful whenever you need to pass two-factor authentication and you are not in the US for whatever reason. This could be that you are based overseas and you are doing some kind of US business or US something, so you don't have a US phone number. It could be like me, where I have a US business, but I don't live in the United States. So this is kind of problematic because I use a lot of US services. And in order to verify me and be more secure, these services often need to send a code to a US phone number. For example, where is it? This is a PayPal business debit MasterCard, and it's basically what my life revolves around, okay? All of my money from teaching and YouTube and all this stuff goes into a PayPal account, and then I use this to access the money in Nicaragua. However, I need to call every 90 days to set up a travel notification so that PayPal is like, oh, hey, there's some guy in Nicaragua using this US account, so that they're okay with that, okay? And the problem here is that in order to set up the travel notification, I need to receive a text message verification from from PayPal on a US phone number. And because I'm in Nicaragua, I can't do that. So it is worth saying that some US phone services do allow you to have service in Nicaragua, but you have to pay a lot of money. Like, we're talking about like $10 a day, $300 a month, okay? Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot if you're like a big business person, but for reference, that is over double my rent in Nicaragua. So that is not an option, okay? So the option I'm about to show you guys is $7 a month. Woo! And it will enable you to get a virtual phone number that looks exactly like a US phone number. As far as the other person can tell, it is a US phone number. And you can receive text messages, send text messages, receive calls, and send calls. It's, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same as somebody in the States who actually has a phone number, okay? Again, there are a lot of times where this service is going to be useful. So I'm going to just finish showing this service, and then I'll look in the chat and I'll talk to you guys. And again, if anybody wants to, you can join this call just by joining the Zoom room. There is a link in the description of this video you are watching right now. And if you want to talk to me, ask questions in person, show your face, you are welcome and encouraged to. Otherwise, after I finish this tutorial, I will look in the chat and I will answer questions about anything. It can be drop shipping, it could be e-commerce, it could be Nicaragua, whatever you want. If you have a question that you want, if you want to pick my brain, feel free to just stick around, and in the chat, I'm going to look at these things and I will answer your questions. But for now, let's move forward with our solution. Okay, so there's two things that you're gonna need in order to get a US phone number from overseas. One is Skype, and two is Google Voice, okay? So, when you have a Skype account, you can pay for a Skype number, okay? So I've already done this, but I'm going to act like I'm doing it for the first time. So you go to Skype, and you go to this thing, secureskype.com/my Skype number. If you don't know how to find that, you can always Google how to get a Skype number, okay? And this is different than having a Skype. If you have Skype, that just means you're using Skype's service. You can call people. This is different than having a Skype number. A Skype number is a US phone number, or not just US actually, it can be a bunch of different countries, where people can call you and then it gets forwarded to your Skype. So for example, if I have a Skype number and one of you guys in the US calls my Skype number, I'm in Nicaragua and I receive that call on my Skype, even though you are calling a US phone number. It forwards it, okay? And so normally this alone would fix the problem. However, you don't receive or send text messages with a Skype number. So in the case of PayPal, they need to send a text message to your phone number to verify you are who you say you are. So that won't fix the problem. But it does give you a US phone number that can receive calls, aka forward them to your Skype, okay? For example, say that I wanted to get a US number. I could go here and I could choose a location, and I can literally pick any place in the United States that I want my number to be from. So let's say I want a Virginia phone number and I want it to be from Fredericksburg. I can pick this 54090. This is a phone number that's basically for sale, right? So what you do first is you get one of these numbers. And this is the only service that actually costs money. And it's going to cost around $8 per month. And you can call people as much as you want, that kind of thing. It's all part of it, right? So you get this phone number. Now you have a US phone number that will receive calls. The problem here is that it doesn't receive text messages. So this is where Google Voice comes in. Google Voice allows you to get a phone number that receives text messages. However, in order to get a Google Voice phone number, you have to supply a US phone number. So Google Voice alone isn't a good enough solution for those of us who are based overseas and don't have a US phone number. But if you have a Skype number, you can use the Skype number to get a full-fledged Google Voice number, okay? So if I go to Google Voice here, we can see, okay, let's say I'm going to use it for personal use, and I'm going to be using it on the web. Then we would sign into your Google account, and I already did this, so my Google Voice looks like this, right? Then once you've signed up, you use your Skype number to get your Google Voice number. So now you don't need the Skype number anymore. It becomes irrelevant because all that you need the Skype number for is to verify your Google Voice number. So you're going to use your Skype number, sign up for Google Voice. Google Voice is going to call your Skype number to verify you this way. They provide the option of using the phone instead of text. And that's really important because, again, a Skype number can't receive text messages. So you're not going to be able to verify your account using any service that has to send a text or a code to a US phone number. Okay? But with Google Voice, as you can see, this is a message from PayPal. PayPal, reply with your code or enter it on PayPal website, code 337606, yada, yada, yada. Look at that. I received the code and I was able to activate it on my PayPal account. So now, whenever a PayPal needs to verify my identity, they just send a code to my Google Voice phone number. They don't know it's a Google Voice phone number because to them, it is a US phone number. Like I said, you literally buy, first you buy the Skype number. This, for as far as anybody outside can tell, that is a real phone number, okay? And then you use that to get your Google Voice number. And it's exactly the same. You can literally just pick exactly what you want your number to be. Say you want a California number or a Virginia number or a Maryland number. You can pick. You can even pick down to the county that the number comes from. You can pick whatever you want. It's pretty crazy. So that's all you need to do. You need $7 a month. You sign up for a Skype number, and then you use that Skype number to get a Google Voice number. And from that point, you can call people in the US, you can text people in the US, you can receive calls, and you can receive texts. So, you essentially look like you are a US person at that point. You don't have a social security number or anything like that, but as far as verification goes, if you need to verify something on PayPal or with your bank or with some service like Card Bazaar in my case, a lot of these services use US phone verification. So I can just pass them because of my Google Voice number. Super convenient, easy workaround. It also means anytime I need to talk to a client who's based in the United States, I can call them from my computer and it will show up on their phone as a call from this US phone number, this Google Voice number. Pretty freaking awesome. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm gonna go back here and I will look at the live stream chat, and we shall see if there are any questions, because I haven't looked at it at all. I'm going to the live stream on my phone right now. Okay, YouTube. Gotta go to my YouTube channel, library, exit that, and my videos. And here we go, live stream. Haha. Awesome. Mark Hanna says thank you. And that's actually all the comments right now. Sweet. There weren't really any other comments. And I know making this kind of video, like, the funny thing about live streams is that the beginning of the live stream doesn't get watched by anybody watching the live stream itself, because usually it takes like 30, 45 minutes for people to actually start really showing up to a live stream, even if you've actually promoted it. Like this case, I just was like, oh, I want to do a live stream right now, so I just did it. Whereas typically you would be like, oh, 2 weeks, I'm starting this live stream. Come check it out. You'd let people know. That would be ideal for sure. Whereas in this case, I just started straight away. But my point here is that it's amusing because when you live stream, you're not just live streaming. You're also creating a YouTube video that people can watch in the future of the live stream. So while in the beginning of your video, nobody's watching it on the live stream, in the future, that's the part of the video that's going to convince people to watch it or not, right? So it's kind of funny because you have to start it with a lot of energy and give useful information, even though nobody is currently watching the stream. Kind of funny, right? How do I say your name? Akraf Abes Al-Muta says, you're very pro, all the best. Hey, thanks. It's pretty cool how many solutions there are online, guys. Like, the more I learn, the more I see that you can just always assume there's a solution. Even if you don't know what it is, you should assume that it exists, because that assumption, that mentality, is going to be what allows you to actually fix the problem. If you doubt whether there's a solution, it's kind of hard to fix it, because a part of you is like, oh, it's impossible. I can't fix gravity. I can't undo gravity, right? But if you convince yourself otherwise, you can find a solution, right? So, can I help you guys with anything? Like, right now I just got a lot of energy. That's why I'm doing a live stream. But I don't know, what should we talk about? Can I help you guys find something? Can I recommend something? Is there a problem you guys are having in your life right now that I can assist with? Like, use me, Anything. I'm just going to sit here and drink water. I'm listening to, have you guys ever seen this? Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, probably. Actually, I was listening to something else. I was listening to... Yeah, Mirai Nikki. Oh, I love this anime so much. Okay. Yo, what's up, Ramon? And Emprendedor. Haha. Alright, so I guess that's something to talk about. Okay, so first, Ramon says... One second. Ramon says, let's shoot a video at the dropship house, por favor. Oh, man, like, I love what's going on there, but there's complications because of that, right? Like, say that Mark were to reach out to me and invite me to do a video. I might actually do it, but because... Okay, essentially, like, Mark and I have a history in the past, right? I reached out to Mark asking to do another video with him to kind of try and repair things between us, right? And instead of, like, responding to me or getting back to me or humoring me and making a video with me, he deleted the comment, or maybe YouTube did, I don't know, and then proceeded to make a video titled, Why He Will Never Make a Video With Me Again. So I have absolutely no interest in being around Mark Augustine. I love what he's doing, and the dropship house thing is awesome, but, like, unless he actually reaches out to me and shows some effort, I'm doing really well. I'm really happy here, and I'm not trying to be around unnecessary negativity. So Like, I would love to meet you guys and interact with you and make content. Like, that's what I love. But unfortunately, there's complications. So, you know, such is how it is. So, next is Emprendedor Extremo. Says, hi, Jack. Have you ever used SaleWho directory to dropship on eBay? Unfortunately, I have not. I know very little about SaleWho. We can show it on the screen right now, though, so that some other people do. Yeah, Ramon, you can message me on WhatsApp. 1 second. My WhatsApp number is status. 1 second. Let me find it. Bum, 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 bum. All right, on WhatsApp, you can reach me at +505 7621 8461. Okay, and I will paste that in the chat for you real quick. 1 second. I gotta +505 7621 8461. Okay, now I need to go into the YouTube chat. Here we go. My WhatsApp number is +505 762 18461. 18461. Is that right? 505 7621 7621 8461. All right, sweet. Awesome. So I did that. That sidetracked me. I was in the middle of something. Oh, yeah, SaleWho. SaleWho. I don't actually fully understand what SaleWho is. So I guess now would be a good time to research that, because if I don't understand it, that probably means that other people don't as well. Well, here seems to be some random information about SaleWho. SaleWho. What is dropshipping? New Zealand company. Okay, so SaleWho is a database or a directory of dropshipping suppliers or wholesalers. So one of the services you have to pay a membership for? SaleWho cost. $67 lifetime. No, $67 per year. Oh, that's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap. Interesting. Now, unfortunately, I don't have much experience, but if anybody does have experience and wants to share their experience with me and with the audience, you are welcome to join this call. You'll show up right here. This is a Zoom room, so multiple people can join here. If you have some SaleWho experience, you want to talk about it, whether it's bad, good, neutral, whatever, you can join. You can join the stream. All right, Marwa Aldaraze says, can I open 2 accounts in the same name on eBay? So technically, yes, but they're going to get linked. So your name doesn't really matter a whole lot, like, because your name alone isn't enough to identify you, because there's people with the same name. Sometimes you could like shorten a name so you only use a first name. There's tons of people in the world with a first name that's the same. So in that case, like, it doesn't really matter. The identifying information is the PayPal account that you link to your eBay. It's your billing address, any credit card you use on eBay. Your IP address can be used in some situations, but this is like a soft link. So there's hard links and soft links. A hard link means if you have this one link, as far as eBay is concerned, you are the same person. So a billing address is an example of a hard link. Everything else can be different, even the PayPal account. But if the billing address is the same, then as far as eBay is concerned, you're the same person. Same thing with the PayPal account. If everything else is different, but the PayPal account is the same, billing address is different, everything else is different, as far as eBay is concerned, you're the same person. Whereas a soft link is something that alone isn't enough information to create that link. For example, say that your name is Jack Pitman and you're running an eBay store, but you have different PayPal account than me, different eBay address, or a different billing address than me, different IP, all that stuff is different, then you're not going to get in trouble, despite the fact that Jack Pitman is banned on eBay, because the name alone isn't enough information to really identify you. Whereas, again, your PayPal account, your billing address, any cards you use, all of this information is enough to identify you. So it's not about can you make an account with the same name, because technically you can. The thing is, can you make an account with the same billing address? Not really, because eBay is going to notice. Like, you can have multiple accounts on eBay. eBay actually sometimes encourages you to have multiple accounts because eBay would prefer that you have one account that you sell your cell phones on, and one account that you sell all of your Legos on, and one account that you sell all of your groceries on. They like it when you categorize things. And as far as they're concerned, they don't care if you have multiple accounts if that's what you're doing. They don't want you to have multiple accounts if you're placing duplicate listings or some of the listings are the same on these accounts. As far as they're concerned, then that's you trying to work around account limits, so that's a problem. But eBay itself doesn't necessarily have a problem with you having multiple accounts. It's very circumstantial, if that makes sense. So, what's up? Predator Extremo says, any tips to improve listing visibility on eBay? Okay. So again, I don't dropship anymore, guys. I'm kind of in the know because I regularly communicate with people who are dropshipping and I'm well connected with dropshippers, but understand that I am becoming outdated. I'm not actively dropshipping. I'm not trying to dropship anymore, and I don't want to. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I can tell you what the people I know are talking about, but I'm not in a position to give you really good, effective answers because I'm not actively dropshipping anymore, unfortunately. That being said, if you want to improve your listing visibility on eBay, first off, we have to determine, are you a flagged user or an unflagged user? Because if your account is flagged, then, okay, I need to take a step back. Flagged for dropshipping. There are tons of flags. People started talking about flagging accounts recently because of the dropshipping flag, but the reality is that eBay has 30 or 40 different flags. You can be flagged and then you have to provide your information. MC011 is a flag, okay? Same with being flagged and having to call eBay just to show you're a real person. This is a flag. The dropshipping flag is also a flag. These are all different ways that eBay identifies potential problems, right? So you got to take a step back and really understand the bigger picture of eBay. eBay is a huge, huge, huge company. Bunch of listings, tons of stuff like this, right? And when they need a system to identify problems, so that's how they flag things. They have an algorithm, or they use formulas in order to flag accounts, and then they will typically have a person who reviews the flags, okay? So if you want to increase your visibility, hey Ray, good to see you. If you want to increase your visibility with your listings, you need to determine what flags you are currently operating with. Most of the flags you can't continue until you fix. The dropshipping flag is unique because you can keep selling while you are flagged as a dropshipper. It just means you're going to get way, way less traffic. But let's talk about this for a second, because it's not as simple. It's not like eBay has a button or a magic filter and they're just like, oh, that's a drop shipper? Okay, give them 90% left traffic. That's not how it works. What's really happening here is when you have a drop shipping flag, eBay is choosing to show your listings last in search results when other non-flagged results come up before you. So say that somebody searches for a cat toy on eBay. eBay is going to show every cat toy that is not flagged as a drop shipper. These are the first items that are going to come up. Then after all of the non-flagged items, you'll get the flagged items in the end of the search results. So this is why your traffic goes down so much when you're flagged. It's not because eBay's like pressing a button and like using a magic filter that just takes away your traffic. It's because eBay is changing the location of your listings in search results so that they are essentially always in the end of search results. This is important to understand because if, for example, you are a flagged account and all of your items, you are the only person selling them or one of two people selling them, it isn't going to matter that you got flagged because you're selling stuff that nobody else is selling. So when people search for your items, there's no non-flagged people showing up. So your items are showing up first. So it is possible to show up first as a flagged dropshipper. It's just incredibly unlikely because you have to be able to post items that nobody else is selling. You have to find items that don't have any competition, okay? So in that situation, you can work around the flag. But what I want you guys to understand is that you have to understand what the flag actually does. It doesn't just magically reduce traffic. It reduces traffic by changing the location of your listings in search results. So if you want to increase your visibility as a flagged person, it's pretty simple. Your only solution is to post items that nobody else is posting. Find items that don't have competition, okay? You can do this, the easiest way would be to use sources that other people aren't using. If you're talking about sourcing items, then like Walmart, Amazon, these places, they are the most common places to source items from. They are where most competition lies. So your chance of finding an item that nobody else is selling, especially nowadays, on Amazon or Walmart, almost impossible. Whereas if you're using a third-party site that people haven't heard of that much, there's not that many other people using, you might be able to get some sales this way, okay? But again, this is how to increase your visibility if you are a flagged account. That means you're flagged, eBay knows you're drop shipping, you've looked at your stats and you can see that your traffic went down a bunch. Your only option is to post items that do not have competition because then it makes your flag irrelevant. In my case, for example, when I was still drop shipping before I got banned, the way I was earning most of my money at the end that I was using to pay the eBay bill was from I had like a couple $1,000 listings. And because these listings are so expensive, there's so few other people posting them. So even though my account was flagged, I was still getting sales for these items because I was the only person selling them. So it didn't matter that my account was flagged, okay? But now let's talk about if your account isn't flagged. How do you increase your visibility? This is a way more complicated question because it has to do with eBay Cassini. You have to understand how eBay's algorithm chooses what to show in search results. So there's a lot to this here, like a whole lot to this. The biggest things to understand are price, title, recent sales history, okay? If an item sells, it goes up in search results. So there are people who use strategies where they post items at like break even just to get the item to sell 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then once the item's sold that much, then they'll change their pricing so that they're profitable. And because it has produced that history of sales, then it can keep selling, okay? There's your price, which probably affects sales more than any other factor. If you are the cheapest, more people will buy your product. That's pretty basic, right? But that can be tricky when there's tons of competition and it becomes literally impossible to be the cheapest. How do you get sales? SEO in your title, all sorts of other stuff, right? And there's a lot of different strategies here. I can't just dissect all of eBay, especially because like, again, I'm not drop shipping anymore. However, it is true that I meet with an eBay mastermind group once a week, so I'm very well informed about like the inner workings of what's going on with eBay right now from a physical seller's perspective, not necessarily from a drop shipper's perspective. But anyway, I have ranted for a while and I haven't looked at the chat. So let's see. Muhammad Anwar says, one second, Ray. I just realized that on this call, I have Here we go. But now that you're here, I don't have to listen to music. Did you want to ask anything, Ray? I'll give it some time. If so just do the raise hand thing or send a message if you feel like you're not getting a moment to say something, because I'm like caffeinated right now and I'm really like bah, 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 bah. So just let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. And what was the next thing? Okay, Mohammed says, how is the profit of dropshipping on eBay these days? Again, I'm not in the best position to answer that. I mean, okay, compared to somebody who isn't connected, I guess I'm in a better position. But essentially, most people who dropship on eBay have lost a lot of their money. They are not earning as much money as they were before. And this is true for almost all cases. However, not all cases. There are some people who are able to keep dropshipping. Basically, with eBay, the way it works is that if at any point you scale an account up big enough where you are doing like a really high volume of sales, you're earning eBay good money, and you are showing a history of really, really solid customer service, even though eBay has changed its terms of use to more blatantly disallow retail arbitrage, they are going to turn the cheek, so to speak, for much bigger accounts that are doing a lot of money. Because as far as eBay is concerned, like, okay, if they feel like that account isn't jeopardizing the customer experience, that's the thing that ultimately matters. So right now, as a new person, it is harder to have stability dropshipping. It's a bit weird because, so technically new people right now are able to do better than new people a year or two ago, because there's kind of less competition, sort of. It's a bit complicated. However, you can't just be straight up with eBay and be like, hey, I'm drop shipping, because you can get in trouble for that if you're using Amazon or Walmart or these competitors. So the situation has changed a bit in that sense, because when it comes to finding stability as a new drop shipper, it's harder now. Whereas when it comes to getting sales as a new drop shipper, it's technically easier at the moment, because a lot of people have been flagged and that kind of thing. So it makes it easier for you to be profitable in the period of time when you've created a new account, but you haven't yet been flagged by eBay. But again, like, it's important to understand, like, drop shipping doesn't die. It just changes. The way that you do it changes. And as time passes without change, then people become a bit complacent. They become used to just being able to do the same thing and earning money. So it's inevitable at some point eBay or whatever platform you sell on is going to change something, and it causes everybody to be in an uproar for a while, and after 6 months, a year, 2 years, stuff is back to normal until they make another change. Okay? Dropshipping isn't something that goes away or like leaves or dies as an opportunity. It's always an available opportunity. It's just whether you will follow through and do the work necessary to earn money from that opportunity, right? And I want to say that you don't have to earn money from dropshipping for it to change your life. Like in my case, I'm known in the dropshipping community. People know who I am. Not everybody, of course, but like if you are educated about dropshipping, then you may know my name, right? That is solely because of the kinds of videos I posted about YouTube and the way that I was dropshipping and how I was sharing information. It's not because of profitability or earning a whole bunch of money. And like, I'm a really good example of somebody who never was that successful dropshipping financially. I didn't even focus on earning money. That wasn't my focus at all, right? Yet dropshipping was still enabled me to become a YouTuber, develop a reputation. And from this point, everything's become much easier. Like, say my YouTube channel completely dies, no more subscribers. I still have 17,000 people who know who I am and have subscribed, showing some kind of interest. That's enough people, enough connections to change your life. Hell, YouTube changed my life after like 2,000 subscribers. So I'm just saying this because in my case, I didn't earn that much money drop shipping. But drop shipping was still very useful for me and enabled me to live the life that I live today. So there's going to be some times where you can use something in a untraditional way or in an out of the box way in order to establish yourself as something else, right? In my case, I want to be an online teacher. That's what I do. I love Skillshare. I love learning and teaching people online. I want to be an online instructor. That's like my preference. That's what makes me happy. Dropshipping doesn't make me happy. But dropshipping was what enabled me to have the life that I have now, where I earn all my money from courses and I make courses, and now I'm earning more money from non-dropshipping courses. I am happy to say that most of my income comes from information that isn't dropshipping. Whereas in the past, it was all dropshipping income, and I wasn't dropshipping anymore, so I didn't really like that. Whereas now, most of my income comes from Skillshare, and you can't even have a dropshipping course on Skillshare. So this makes me feel really happy because then I have more stability. The chance of like some change happening that halves my income is really unlikely. So things have been good. And again, I'm just saying this because you don't need to earn a whole bunch of money for dropshipping to change your life. Sometimes you can use it for other reasons, to acquire data, to establish an audience, all sorts of stuff. All right, now let's look in this chat again. For You says, I can open a new eBay account with the same old restricted eBay information and PayPal account. No, you can't, unfortunately. If you use the same information, you will just get banned. They might not notice straight away, but they absolutely will notice fairly quickly, especially if you post listings straight away. So you can't just make a new eBay account if you've been banned. You could make a eBay account before getting banned and post on it, but once you've been banned or suspended or gotten in any kind of trouble, then eBay is going to apply the same limitations to all accounts that are linked to the information of your banned account, okay? Like in my case, for example, I got banned. I had a roommate, different person, different identity, different business, same billing address. He got banned as well, permanently, just because eBay was like, we think you're Jack Pitman. And he was like, I'm not. Here's my social. Here's everything else. And they're like, we don't care. We're banning you. And that was how it went. So he lost his eBay account because he lived with me, which is fucked. Like, sad, really. I mean, it was a good thing at the time, but like, yeah, you're not going to be able to just make a new account that easily. You could get a stealth account or grow a stealth account or use somebody else's account. You got options. But you can't use your own information to make a new eBay account. Unfortunately, once you're banned, you lose that ability. Okay. Muhammad says, Salam, dear Jack, was banned from using eBay. I don't know why. I called them and they said I will never use the platform. So what's the solution? Thanks profusely in advance. Okay, so this is tricky because eBay essentially, like as an international, eBay's in a bit of a liable situation because of money laundering and this kind of thing. So if eBay feels that you might not be the person you say that you are, if they think your account is fraudulent for whatever reason, they have the right to just ban you and not tell you why and never give you your account back. And unfortunately, that is a fairly common experience for internationals. From eBay's perspective, drop shippers are kind of ruining the eBay experience for people because of all of the listings that are being created. Like the way I was drop shipping was even worse than what a lot of drop shippers do, because eBay doesn't like that. Like new drop shippers will make an account, post like 40 items, and one of them sells, and then they don't fulfill the order, they forget about it, they moved on to something else, or it's out of stock, there's problems, right? Whereas in my case, I was doing that, but on a much bigger scale. So what I was doing really wasn't good for eBay. Like definitely not. But it's important to understand eBay's situation, because as a company, eBay isn't really doing very well, and that's been true for a while now. So if we go to Google Trends and we compare eBay to Amazon over the past 14 years, you can start to get a sense of of how eBay and Amazon are performing, right? So in this case, let's compare eBay with Amazon. Actually, let's compare the websites. eBay.com, e-commerce company, to Amazon.com, e-commerce company. Here we go. Now they're basically identical. So now what we want to do is change it. So instead of interest over the past 12 months, we want to show it interest since 2004. And this is Google Trends, so it doesn't look at like, okay, there's this many people using eBay and this many people using Amazon. It doesn't really look at that. It looks at the amount of people who are consuming content related to eBay or Amazon or searching for it. So it's not a direct indicator of success or anything like that, but it is a strong indicator of general interest in something. So let's take a closer look at this chart. The first thing that you're going to notice, so this chart spans 14 years, okay? Why is there a Donald Trump? What the fuck? Okay. This spans for 14 years. So it goes from January 1st, 2014 to now, 2019, okay? So almost 15 years. First thing that that shows out to me is that you notice Amazon has these huge spikes. They're regular every year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, that is very predictable, very obvious, very noticeable. That's a very big difference too. Like the spikes are big, okay? Each one of these spikes is fourth quarter. This is the Christmas selling season. Okay? So that's also quite interesting to note, is that on eBay, you can see that in December there's a little bit of a spike, but it's nowhere near as exaggerated as on Amazon. And that has been true since Google Trends started collecting data. You can see that eBay's sales don't actually, or their interest doesn't actually fluctuate that much. Whereas Amazon's, even 14 years ago, it fluctuates a lot in December. Fourth quarter is noticeably more sales than the rest of the year. Consistently, regularly, every single year. And that is even becoming more noticeable as interest in Amazon continues to grow. Whereas on eBay, you can still see this, but it's very small. Like you can see right now, this December was actually almost comparable to August. Whereas on Amazon, it's never comparable. December is always the biggest month, every single time. Whereas on eBay, most of the time it is, but sometimes other parts of the year compete, right? And it's interesting to note that, because what we can learn from this is that Amazon has a better hold on seasonal buyers. For whatever reason, Amazon gets noticeably more business compared to its normal amount of business in fourth quarter than eBay. eBay gets a little bit more, but it's barely even noticeable. Like if you look at this graph, the spikes are super obvious. Amazon really captures those Christmas sales, whereas eBay doesn't really. And you can actually see that right now, eBay is at its lowest interest in all of its history. And it has been losing interest since 2012. Okay? That's 7 years of continued loss of interest. eBay as a company is not performing well. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a huge company, hugely successful in some people's eyes, but considering all e-commerce is growing and the rate at which Amazon is growing, eBay really isn't doing well. Like, it's important to understand that just because something exists and just because something is profitable, you have to look at the bigger picture and see how something's performing compared to how it's performed in the past. And eBay's actually losing interest. And so Aceman says, I'm amazed at how many of my kids' friends have no idea about or have ever used eBay these days. Yeah, right? Like eBay was at one point the biggest international marketplace, and it may still be. I'm not sure. But and I say international marketplace, meaning like I can order something from eBay and I'm in Nicaragua. I could pay that and have it shipped here. That's possible. Whereas not possible on Amazon. So that's why I'm saying that eBay is a bigger international marketplace in that sense. Whereas Amazon is absolutely a bigger US marketplace, right? But it is very interesting because, like, I agree, eBay has dropped the ball on a lot of things, and it's kind of hard to understand why. But it is very interesting seeing just how much better Amazon is doing. Like, you can see in October of 2011, that was kind of the turning point when eBay became smaller than Amazon. And it wasn't so much that eBay became smaller, it was that Amazon just got much bigger. Like, you can tell, okay, there's 3 phases in Amazon's growth in front of us on this chart. You have this first phase, which is basically from here to here, okay? So this is from 2004 to 2010. Amazon has a very steady, predictable interest pattern. You can see that it peaks every 4th quarter, but aside from that, it's growing, but not a whole lot. And then it gets to this point where it grows quite a lot from here, from 2010 to 2013. That's quite steep growth right there. It went from 24 whatever this or 30, 24 whatever that number is, to about 50. So in this short span of a couple years, it almost doubled. And now it's still growing. However, it's not growing at the same rate that it did in this time span right here. And so you have this beginning period of 7 or 8 years, then you have this period of extreme growth of about 3 years, and then you have after this where it's growing but more subtly, right? Whereas eBay was growing, kind of stopped growing, started to grow a little bit, and then boom, just ever since then has been consistently losing interest. So that's a good point, Ace. Let's see, when did Amazon start offering Amazon Prime? When did Amazon start to offer Amazon Prime? February 2005. But when did it become common? So here it says that in 2005, that's when Amazon Prime started, but it wasn't pushed by Amazon until years later. So if we go back here, let's find 2005. That's really right in the beginning. So Amazon started to offer Prime around here. So say in order for it to Prime to explain the growth, that would mean that they had to start pushing it like 5 years later. So it looks like it probably was something else. There looked like a promising article. Yeah, everything that Prime has added over the years. Okay. So in 2005, Prime was born. 2011, Prime TV was launched. In 2014, membership price was increased. 2014, Prime Pantry, Prime Music. Okay, so 2014 and 2015, they launched a bunch of things. Well, I'm hearing music suddenly. This why? Yeah, that's why. So, if we go back here, 2014, 2015. That means around here is when all their services started to launch. So I'm not sure what it is. I mean, either way, we'd just be guessing. Um, but at this point, let me scroll up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna answer one more thing before I head out. I'll take it back here. Ray, did you wanna talk about anything before I leave, or let me know? Um, oh,
Yeah, how you doing, Jack?
hey, I'm doing awesome, man.
Hey, I got so much stuff in the background, man. I don't know if you can hear all that, but I do apologize.
It's all good. I can hear you. It's the end of the stream. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, all this time though, what my biggest fear is that someone listens to what we have to say because I don't know. It could be somewhere in the middle of being correct, incorrect, legal, illegal, and I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Even though it all has to do with me, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I used to be more worried about these things, whereas now I'm just like, my life has been so positively affected by just being open and talking about things on YouTube that I just don't really worry about it anymore.
Yeah, well, I got to get to where you're at. But let me ask you this though: what I'm really in need of is uh, I only have two items on my eBay thing. Um, I was hoping that I can have you uh, do like the thousand the the thousand items uh, daily or something like that. I don't know if you're gonna, you know, give me a price or something, but I need you to do that. I understand that you prefer that I do it, but I don't have like the time, the will, a whole bunch of things I can mention to you that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do have and what I would like to do, I would like to get it running how you had yours, because the part that you didn't like or wasn't too crazy about doing was doing the orders and speaking with people, doing the customer service. That's the part that I love.
Well, it's not. It's. I want to be clear that it's not that I didn't like that part. Like, I actually really liked placing orders. That was fun, just because it was the like it was really amusing that people would buy pickles, and like I had a jar of pickles that would sell like once or twice a week, and I would just go to Walmart and ship it to their house, and like for some reason that was super amusing to me that people will pay me more for a jar of pickles they could just order on Walmart, right? So I was amused by that. The thing that I was unsettled by when I was drop shipping was the inherent like risks I was taking. The way I was drop shipping was really, really risky. I was putting myself in a situation where I had to pay thousands of dollars to eBay every single month. And there were times where I didn't have that money. So I had to take out loans. I had to do other things. And there were
But Jack,
months where I lost money. There were months that I spent the money that I earned, so I didn't have it. It's
Jack,
not as
Jack,
easy as just having 1,000 items and then thinking that your problems will be like fixed, unfortunately. And like I don't have the willpower to post 1,000 items for someone else. Like I literally wouldn't want to do that. For me, it's really important to help you find things that you enjoy and to figure out how to earn money from doing those things. Um, that makes sense.
you know what? I had a solution for you as far as those big bills and stuff like this. And this is again why I didn't want someone to hear it. But I think you were going about this totally the wrong way about paying those bills. I think you should have used we call this choco, and I'll leave it at, if you know what a choco is.
Hmm.
I think that's what you should have used in some cases
Yeah,
to pay those
probably.
bills.
I mean, in this case, like
Yeah,
now
I
I
mean
have a great life. It's in the past. I've taken care of pretty much everything. So
you're already in the deep end, and it's one of those type of things where it does work. There's nothing no one can do about it. You know, they can either accept it or you still owe the same thing. One of the two. but you can always get another one.
Yeah.
And so sooner or later it will get paid. And this is what I wanted to tell you so bad. I just couldn't find you in the right place to say it. Look, do this. Or here, just let me give me a shot at it. Let me show you, let me show you what I would do. And it's just blame it on your assistant. That's what I would have done. Blame it to me. Hey, oops. I'd have been like, oops, my bad. What I just it, wait a minute. Does it say zero balance? If it says zero balance and eBay does not complain, we're good. We're okay. We're okay. That's just how I see that issue at the moment, and I still see it that same way. And
But so
until
so what's stopping you? So say you are very interested in posting items drop shipping wise. What is stopping you from posting 1,000 items? Why do you feel that I could do that but you can't?
well, I know that you've done it. I know that you're okay. I know that the mistakes that I will probably make, you already know not to make. So therefore, like the chances of my account or this account wind up being flagged or kicked out or whatever it is,
Hmm.
you know, it would be minimum compared to if I'm gonna, I'm gonna probably run into every single red flag known to man and probably do it twice and not even realize that I've done that. And because eBay is pretty slow on letting you know certain things. They're just kind of slow. And by the time I probably up uh to my earlobes, that's when they're gonna probably notify me and say, hey, you have a few infractions. And then the next day they're gonna probably give me about 200 infractions and say, oh yeah, you got 200 more, by the way. That's how they will probably do me. And that's my one of my biggest fears. However, I did see one of your videos where you were doing it and doing the things, and you were saying just do it like this and whatever. And if that is my only option, I think I might have to do that, and do that as you say daily. And I'm gonna pass the mic to you.
Yeah, regardless to whether it's like, I mean, you've watched a lot of my content, so I'm sure you've heard me rant about this. But a lot of people work too hard, and it's really important that, like, a lot of us have this concept where, say that we're not happy with our lives, we want to change our lives. We think we have to work all day, burn ourselves out, to create change in our life. But unfortunately, typically that isn't the case. If you really want to change your life, then you have to identify something that you can do every single day that makes your future better. And you have to do this thing, even if it's only for 10 minutes or 30 minutes every day, no matter what, no matter how you feel. And you have to do that for 1 or 2 years. And then you'll be able to have the things that you want. But most of us, we get lost in kind of like all the things we could be doing and all the things we think we should be doing. We don't end up actually doing something that makes our future better. And it's really important that you're the only one who knows what's best for you. Like, I can give you advice, that kind of thing, but it's like in my life, I'm the only one who knows what is best for me. And nobody else can tell me. Well, I mean, they could try to tell me what's best for me, but I'm the only one who actually knows and understands what's best. So it's really important that you understand that anytime you are relying on somebody else to show you what to do or to do something for you, you are putting that effort onto another person. You really need to take that burden onto yourself so that you identify what is best for you to do, that you can do every day, that will make your future better. Because you're the only one who has that answer.
Okay, but when I wreck everything up, and I'm warning you ahead of time, when eBay when when eBay has a full out red alert and they have a picture of me, I'm gonna say, I don't know. I did ask for some advice, and and
Well,
no one took my warning.
that's what happened with me. Like I thought that I would figure drop shipping stuff out and earn money that way and have like a team of virtual assistants, and I thought that's what my life was going to be. But life had different plans for me. Like the reality is that if most of the things we think are going to happen and most of the things we are scared of happening, something else is going to happen that we didn't plan for, that we couldn't have prepared for, that is going to really determine what happens. Like in my case, when eBay launched the enterprise store, I was super excited, because I was like, okay, eBay has made it cheaper to post items. Even though I pay $3,000 a month, they now have this platform where you can only pay 2 or 3 cents per item. That is half the amount of money I was already paying. So that was super exciting to me, super exciting. And I start thinking, oh, I'm going to have a really big eBay store. I'm going to do this, right? And then I go to launch it. And then within weeks of committing to this year, eBay changes their algorithm to target dropshippers, and HydraLister places a limitation on the amount of items I could post. So even if I had figured everything out perfectly, these unforeseen events were going to completely jeopardize my whole plan. And there was no way for me to know that eBay was going to do this. All I could do is just be like, okay, I got to try and make this work. Got to keep trying to make this work. But things changed. And like, I lost my eBay account. That was a big deal at the time. That was traumatizing for me. And I knew how to make it become a good thing. And I learned to view it as an opportunity to recreate my life the way that I wanted. But it definitely wasn't easy, and that definitely wasn't according to plan. Like, I wasn't planning to get banned on eBay or get in trouble with it. That's just what happened. And like, it is true that I was in a position where I kind of needed that to happen, so I wasn't being as diligent with preventing problems, because I needed to get my account in trouble, basically, because it was the only way to get out of the yearly commitment to the enterprise store without having to pay thousands of dollars for an early termination fee. So, like, it's super tricky. But that mentality, like, there's always going to be things that are going wrong. You can't wait for other people to fix your problems for you. You have to be the one who fixes your problems, because you're the only one who can really change your life. Other people can just inspire you to change your life, but you have to be the one who makes those changes and takes those risks. And like, as long as you do, it's not going to go as you expect. There are going to be things that go wrong, but other things will happen as well, and it's going to give you an opportunity to change the way that you live.
Okay, I understand. I'll definitely give it a shot. If you don't mind sending me the link again to the video that you prefer that I would follow for the at least for the first couple of, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, or 6,000, or 10,000 items listed. Um, I will follow that video.
Well, there's a lot of videos now I can send, but there isn't. So it's important to understand that back when I was bulk posting, I was using HydraLister and SkuGrid. Both of these services have, like, HydraLister you can't use to bulk post anymore. They literally placed a limitation, so you can only post 4,000 items per month with Hydra. I was posting hundreds of thousands, so that is just completely void now. And SkuGrid has completely changed how they do their repricing. So it's now non-API. You have to use a CSV thing, and I have some videos about that. But I don't have a video that shows somebody now, like, how to go about posting thousands of items to eBay. That's not something that exists on my YouTube channel. I only have, like, videos from the past showing how I did that. But again, using services that don't exist anymore. So
Okay.
I'll share some videos about, like, how to not F the account up, because basically if you understand how to deal with out of stocks, then you are way ahead of the curve. That's the biggest problem, is dealing with out of stocks. That's where all the anxiety comes from, all the nervousness. It's also where eBay might start to have a problem with you, because it's a chance for a buyer to either report you if something goes wrong, or for like a flag to be created by eBay. So if you can understand how to deal with out of stocks really well, then you're ahead of the curve. So let me find a video about that, and I'll send it to you real quick.
I appreciate it, man.
I have to find the most recent one. Probably this one. Okay, I'm gonna send it in the chat here. Make sure to put it somewhere else, because when this call ends, you'll lose access to the chat. So just like open the link in a new tab or something.
Done. No problem.
I'm trying to think of what else you would need to learn.
Well, I mean, as you think of it, feel free to send it to me. This is another thing. I lost your phone number, or how do a person actually communicate with you? You were telling me to look at the Discord, but I did not know how to do that, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no worries, it's fine. So my phone number, I can give you my WhatsApp number. 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. My phone number on WhatsApp is +505 7621.
Can you please repeat it from the beginning?
Yeah, it's 505 7621 8461.
8461?
Yep.
Okay, I think I messed this up here. Let's see. I got +, 505 7 621 8 461.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah, Nicaraguan numbers have 8 digits. So the +505 is the Nicaraguan code, and then the rest of the number is the phone number itself. It's kind of like the US has a 1. It's +1, and then the US number. 3 digits, 4 digits, 4 digits, I think. I don't remember. But it's just a format of a Nicaraguan number. 1 second, there's some stuff I want to respond to in the chat. Okay, Ace said, yeah. Yeah, so he was responding to things that we were talking about. So first I'll address the situation in Nicaragua. I am completely unaffected by the political situation here. The only difference for me is that there are a bunch of police and like roadblocks in the city. I actually live, like, there's people with assault rifles, like police with assault rifles, like right in the street. Like I could look out my window right here and see them. So like I interact with them pretty regularly. But aside from that, everything else is normal. Like I go outside, I go to the skate park, I live my life. You do have to be a bit careful because the protests are really dangerous, and it's possible to accidentally get involved in a protest if you don't know where the protests are held. So like you could think you're just going to the grocery store and then get out of your taxi and there's a huge crowd of people and you're in a protest. And that's really dangerous because that's where things connect. Like people get shot at these protests. And even if you participate, the chance of you actually getting shot, like you have to do something to get shot. It's not just like some random person in the crowd gets shot. Typically it's like somebody who's speaking really loudly, is rallying people up, is being aggressive. Then you're more likely to get hurt. But if you stay away from the protests, it really doesn't matter. And it's pretty easy to stay away from the protests. They usually are around like the rotundas, and they have like typical places that they go to. So you can just avoid these places. And really, if you just do your errands like early in the day, like before 1, then even if you're at a protest site, it's going to be before the protest starts because they typically start in the afternoon. So like you'd be fine. So yeah, the situation doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever. Yeah. Next, I said, yeah, I was out of control. Yeah, I was. Posting all those items was insane. And I completely agree. They said posting items is the easy part. Dealing with everything that comes after posting the items is the hard part. Exactly, man. Exactly. Ace asks, did you guys scrap your Vero project? We have a local brand IP database we use internally, but maintaining it is kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah. So, sort of. I wanted to keep working on the Vero thing, but the people I was working with, the two other people, both have really kind of crappy job situations at the moment. So they're working a lot as programmers for this other company and not really getting paid that much. So they're really, really burned out and weren't able to contribute that much time-wise to the project. And one of them didn't really believe in it. So like my friend Eric, he believes in it. He understands I'm a YouTuber, and from their perspective as software developers, we can work together and like create products for people and earn money from that. That's absolutely a thing, right? Whereas the other guy, he like needs some convincing. He's not completely on board. And like from my perspective, I can just work with people who view me as an opportunity. And I don't need to convince them that I'm an opportunity. Like working with me is an opportunity. And I'm not interested in trying to convince anybody that working with me is an opportunity. Like I want to just work. I would just want to focus on whatever it is that we're working on and work on our project, right? So in my case, like I started this paid consulting thing, and now like I have gigs with people who pay me to talk about stuff, and they develop software. So now I have relationships with other software developers, and like I'm helping them contribute to stuff they're already working on. So I've kind of went away from the stuff with Systematical because I felt that I had to keep motivating the others and pushing them, and I would much rather work with people who I don't need to motivate. It's just like I'm in a position where I get to pick. Like, do I work with a team of people who are motivated to work with me, or do I work with a team of people who's not motivated to work with me? I'm gonna work with the team who's motivated, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's it's basically scrapped. It's not like technically we could keep working on it, but that would mean that one of the others reaches out and initiates interest. And considering their life circumstance, I think that that's really, really unlikely. Like it's also relevant that the quality of our lives are very different. Like I'm in a position where I don't need to do anything, and I'm covered. I'm fine. I have all my bills taken care of, my food's taken care of, everything's fine. Whereas from their positions, they have college degrees, they're working their asses off, they're not getting paid properly. They're really, really stressed. They don't have any free time. They both still live with their parents. Well, they both have to live with their parents because of their circumstance. The company they were working for, like, paid other people for a project that they did, so they feel really, like, unappreciated. It's messy. Yeah. And so, like, I'm just not in that position. I don't have any kind of, like, desperation anymore. Okay, and then Ace Man said, I remember you sending a similar wrong item and cringing. Yeah, so I went through a phase, Ace, of trying to do every possible response to an out-of-stock situation. So I tried not sending anything, like literally just ignoring it. I tried doing that, seeing what happened. I also tried sending the wrong items, and I tried just messaging the buyers. I went through a whole lot of different things before deciding ultimately that the best solution is to have a customer reorder prompt. So essentially, anytime you can't fulfill a sale, or the sale would be not profitable or whatever, you send a message to a customer that's pretty generic and as short as possible. Something like this. Hey there, I've made a mistake with this listing and I'm currently unable to send the item as advertised. I take full responsibility for this mistake and I would like to offer you any other item at my store priced at 20% off or whatever. You have to give them some like discount that's good, like a discount where they could buy the item from you and you're not going to earn any money, and they might actually like, you know, they're getting the item for it's a fair price in that sense because you're not earning any money from it. You want to offer this, and it may be scary. You may think like, oh, I don't want to offer them $20 off of their order. Like, I don't want to do that. I'd lose money. The reality is they're always going to just ask for a refund. Like, I sent out hundreds of these prompts, and I found another item in my store for the customer after they requested it like 5 times. Super uncommon. Almost always what they do is ask for a refund. And at this point, the moment you have a message from your customer saying that they would like to be refunded, then you can just cancel the sale and refund them because you have the message coming from them. So that's the better way to handle out of stocks. And you can still use other methods if you need to in a pinch, but the best way is to get the customer to tell you to refund them. But there's still some holes in that. Like, say that you send out that message, then the customer might just never respond. Then you're still in the position of like, okay, I have this out of stock sale. This customer is expecting the item, but they haven't gotten back to me. Well, then maybe you have to send something else or do something, right? Because it's important that you actually send an item out now because eBay changed the way that they handle item not received cases and that kind of thing. When I was sending the wrong item, and also when I was just choosing to do absolutely nothing, one of the reasons I was doing that was because at the time, eBay had no punishment for closing an item not received case with a refund, which was dumb. So essentially, as far as eBay is concerned, say that you have an out-of-stock item, you can't fulfill the order. You have a couple options. You can be honest, say that you're out of stock, take the hit on your account, and possibly lose your seller status. Or, at the time, you could just do absolutely nothing, bad for the customer, but good for your account, because the customer is going to either message you saying where's the item, or they're going to open an item not received case. The moment that they open an item not received case, you close it with a full refund, and then boom, that doesn't count against your account. So technically, back then, it was better for you to get the buyer to open an item not received case than it was to be honest and cancel the order. And that's kind of touches on some of the inherent problems with the way that eBay operates. As a company, you should never put your sellers or your buyers in a situation where it is better for them to fuck the other party over. Essentially, with eBay, the one change that eBay could make that would change a lot is how they handle out of stocks. Because if eBay allowed their sellers to cancel an order within the first 12 hours of it being placed without any consequence, this would completely change the scene. Because a lot of the sketchiness of dropshipping comes from how often they have out of stocks and the fact that eBay forces them to lie about the out of stocks so that they can keep selling. Yeah, from eBay's perspective, oh yeah, you should just be honest and you shouldn't lie, but I mean, this is the reality of how people work. If you incentivize them to do something, they're going to do it. eBay incentivizes people to lie about their out of stocks. That shouldn't be done. eBay should have its system in place properly so that it incentivizes sellers to be good to their buyers, and it incentivizes buyers to be good to their sellers. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. And again, we could spend hours trying to figure out why, but based on the research we've done earlier and the understandings about eBay as a company and them going down, it kind of matches that they're making bad decisions because that's like kind of what their history is not growing at the moment. So anyway, I'm kind of done. Sorry about that. Ranted a bit there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to reach out. You are welcome to join this call or email me if anybody wants to do consulting. You can set up a call on Calendly that's private. I don't record anything or do any of that. It's $20 for every 30 minutes. I will try and make it as informative and as useful as possible. You can use this service to hold yourself accountable for something. You could use it to have me educate you about something. People use it for different reasons. So far, the people who've used it have usually been trying to find information about a specific subject that they know I know something about. So they'll ask a couple questions, and I just share it. Sometimes people want to be held accountable. So they will say like, okay, I'm doing this. I need to do this. I want you to call me on this day and ask me what my progress is on this subject, right? This is another way people use the service. But if you want to talk for free, you are always welcome to. Just understand that something has to be recorded. I will talk to you for free. If you record the video and post it on your YouTube, I will do it for free, because that means you get content and there's more content of me on the internet. So it serves me because it increases my kind of global internet presence, if that makes sense. I want to be on a lot of different YouTube channels. That's very rewarding and incentivizing for me. Even if the YouTube channel only has like 2 subscribers, I am happy to make a video with you for your YouTube channel for free. Just sign up using the Calendly link. Or if you want another free option to talk to me, then we can record a video from my YouTube channel. Again, in the Calendly link in the bottom of these videos. Or if you want to do it directly, I'll show you exactly what you do. You go to calendly.com/Jack Pitman, press enter, and from here you'll get to pick from the 6 different kinds of calls. So again, we have all the recorded calls here: topic conversation, questions and answers, an interview. I also have content for your channel, so you call me, you record the video, publish it to your channel. It's free. We can talk about anything you want, doesn't matter. Then there's the affiliate info. This is for like people who want to work with me. This is a free call, but it's not like recorded or anything. And then we have the private call, which is the $20 for 30 minutes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.